Lucky Boys Podcast.
In your senior center, and they have expressed regret on how they raise their children. What type of regrets? Did they ever go into detail about that? Like, did they regret how they raised them, or did they regret
not giving them enough,
or did they regret giving them too much?
Most of them would regret not finding a better environment for them to be in. So you have to remember the seniors that we care for are from the South Brooklyn area, right? They live along the Brighton lines, Shipshead Bay. So they feel like, we move out from Chinatown, but so much is removed from them also that my kid doesn't really, now they're living in a different part of New York City that doesn't give a sense of their own cultural identity. Maybe if they were get a more Chinese culture in them, that they will treat me a little bit differently, but they're more American, so to speak. So did my move to put them in a different environment, did that, I gained one part so there's this certain level of conflict that they got a better life, they on their own, but then now they're
gone.
Now they're gone.
Yeah.
Now they're separated. That relationship.
That's one of my concerns about being a father, that I'm so close with my kids, and I'm real big on family, and I'm real big on family, whether it's blood or not. Norm, some of my friends I consider my brothers, and I'm real big on that. And it would pain me to know that my kids no longer are interested in hanging out with me or seeing me, like they don't miss me. And I know that's just part of life or the American culture, where you have to schedule each other in, right? Whereas over in other countries, it's just normal to have everyone under one roof, a full house, so to speak, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or still having the respect for your elders, for your mom and dad, your grandparents, taking care of everyone. It has more of a village type feel, like a small company, right? It's very intimate. And for somehow when we're here, the culture is very big, right? There's so much going on in this bubble that we're in, that we tend to forget about the people that got us here, right? Yeah. And then we come up with reasons, some of them very valid, but some of them it's a bit of a stretch, where we say, oh, my mom and dad didn't do this. Like I spoke with someone and they got really mad that their parents wasn't able to pay for their college fully. So then they had to settle for NYU.
What?
Okay. Or I kid you not.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
That's weird, because when I was growing up, I never expected my parents to actually front me money to go to college.
Same here.
It was like, if I wanted to go to college, I just, and they never said this to me. I it's my responsibility. If I wanted to go, it's my responsibility. I never thought and they never said anything to me or even forced me to,
To go to college?
No, not to go to college, but to say like, wow. We'll give you the money to go to college. So that, I don't know, it's strange to me.
No, it was a given.
Expect that.
It was a given, because I have older siblings.
Yeah.
And I knew.
You already knew. Historically, you knew.
By the time my name was up, there was no more money left.
Yeah.
It was the well was dry. Mm-hmm. I'll just put it that way. I need all the loan programs possibly available for me. Mm-hmm. And it all worked out.
Yeah.
Right. I did pay my own way through college. I did. If you remember, we were roommates. I was working damn near full time. Yeah. Circuit City. Damn near I was working. So I took like 16 to 18 credits per semester.
We were all jealous because you had the highest paying job.
I had the highest paying job, but I also worked 39.5 hours a week.
Wow.
And
why? Almost full time.
Almost full time. Half an hour short of full time. Why?
No, they didn't want to pay your benefits, right?
Bingo.
Yeah.
But that's how, but again, I'm older than you guys, much older than you guys. So the thing is, like my generation, being the first one to go to college, or the teacher would say to you, hey, make sure you take a job that will be part of what you're studying. It needs to be relevant, right? Don't just make money. But then when my dad passed away, what are my options, right? So I'm waiting tables at Hopley. from 6 to 6 in the morning. That's when Chinatown restaurants went up. Then I said, wow, I still got to get a job that's relevant to what I'm doing. I'm studying accounting. So I signed up for Federation Stores to be a audit clerk to audit the cash receipts. So I would wake up on a Saturday to get to the department store at around in DeKalb Avenue at around 8 in the morning. I'll work till 4. I get up at 4, and then go home, sleep an hour, and then go to Hopley, and then till 6 in the morning the next day. But again, but there's hope. That's you know that you just have to tough this out. And when you look at your parents, you look at all the people in Chinatown, and you say, wow, they have it infinitely worse than me. Right?
Oh, not even close.
Right?
Like
not even close, right?
My parents had it, like you said, infinitely worse. It's like we can't even compare the two. I mean, there was just, imagine having to trying to leave where you're currently at to another country where you don't speak the language because you think that there's a better opportunity for you to raise a family and for yourself out there.
Right.
And then when you're there, you're a foreigner, you're discriminated against, and jobs are extremely limited because you just don't have the qualifications.
You don't have the skills, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't speak the language.
It's not
and
a
then,
choice, right?
And say fuck all that and still make it.
Yeah, and provide for your family too.
Woo! How bad is that? That's bad.
Yeah, really badass.
That's bad, man.
So, but I
got respect for that. I got a lot of respect for that. Now, I understand that some of the parenting can be fucked up, very toxic, right? Where it was physical. We joke around it, but we get hit with the feather dusters, the plant holding whip thingies, the hangers, the slippers, whatever they can get,
the
belts. Yeah, like we got hit. And I get that, like for a lot of people that can be mentally traumatizing.
But it is tougher.
On one end, mentally distraught. On one end, I heard some people thinking about getting another beating stop me from hanging out with the wrong crowd, right? Stop me from not taking school seriously. I don't believe in that. I personally don't subscribe to that philosophy. I think it's outdated. I think there's better ways of encouraging your child's decision making and outcome without physically harming them. But again, you got to keep in mind, a lot of these people have no college education, and where they come from was way rougher, and they got either beat or neglected. And that almost seems, believe it or not, mild compared to where they came from. Right? When you're talking about being raised in the 50s versus the 80s and 90s and now 2020s. It's big. I mean, you just look at the technological shift, you look at the cultural shift and the parental shift. And I'm not saying to do that for just your parents, but for yourself. Because I know some people well into their 30s and even 40s, and they can't get over it. They're so consumed by this that they don't feel... They're not giving themselves permission to forgive, and they're not giving themselves permission to love as well, and to receive love. Even at this age, they're so guarded and closed because of that. And I'm saying, if you can just forgive them, try to get some closure on that, and move on with your life. And it's easier said than done.
Lucky Boys Podcast.